Hello everyone, this is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Oh boy. Mostly.
I wish it didn't come out at night. I wish it didn't come out at all.
Will, I'm not happy.
I'm not happy either. So I have to give a little context here.
I'm not happy.
Very many reviews ago, we reviewed a very unknown film
For good reason.
called Curse of the Headless Horseman. Now, it was not possibly. It is the worst movie that we have ever seen.
That me and you have ever seen.
In our entire lives.
Not just podcast, like it's straight up.
Now, this is us saying because we've watched Manos. Obviously, that's our first ever movie, which is helmed as the worst movie ever. No,
Curse of the Headless
Curse
Horseman.
of the Headless Horseman takes the cake because it's just a bunch of friends hanging out and filming just a fucking awful
Just a nothing movie.
nonsensical movie that goes absolutely nowhere and just wastes fucking an hour and a half of your time.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. It's like there's like a weird rape scene that they never talk about. There's
God.
fucking
Does the acid trip shit?
The twist is like the stupidest
Yeah.
limp dick thing
He
I've
just
ever
wants the
seen in my
gold.
Yeah. It's fucking dumb. There's a lot of things wrong, but if you want to hear what's wrong with it, go
watch that episode.
Go and listen to our review of Curse of the Headless Horseman. Now, I did not think that we would. I kind of had an idea that maybe we'd get to a movie that was kind of
They gave us those
bad.
same feelings.
Yeah, but not completely, right?
Yeah.
I was okay, well, not every movie, probably 90% of the movies we're gonna watch are not gonna be nearly as bad as that.
Nope. And they're not. Except for Uwe Boll, but that's a whole different story.
Well, yeah, but he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But now
We've come to it.
we've come to it. I never thought this would happen, but we have if not worse, it's just as bad as
Yes.
Curse of the Headless Horseman.
I'm almost tempted to say this is worse because this clearly has more money behind it.
It does. Well, so I'm tempted to say it's worse just because I feel like it's a bigger waste of time.
Yeah.
There's more going on and then nothing happens on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm almost arguing that it's worse because it's not just a bunch of people at a fucking ranch and one of them wants a bunch of gold, so he pretends to be a headless horseman and cuts and kills all his friends for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't have to invite them up there. I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's fine.
But this is it's they're trying to say something, but
Are they?
No, I don't know what they're trying to say. They saw another movie that's
This is two movies.
yeah.
This is two movies in one. Okay? The first one, we should probably mention the title. The name of the movie we watched tonight is The Lucifer Complex.
Yes.
Now, I will read you the synopsis here. An intelligence agent discovers a Nazi plot to revive the Third Reich by using clones. Okay. Plot one, or should I say ripoff one,
Yep.
is The Boys from Brazil, which came out 2 years before this, I think. And it's about living Nazis trying to create the next Hitler by
Right.
basically arranging certain children's lifestyles. Okay, plot one, that's the ripoff. Now, during the way this ends, I'm gonna say ripoff number two is Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, in a way.
Because that's about
no, that's fair.
people being cloned and taking over the world through clones and etc. etc.
No, I think that's fair because it kind of does have that.
It is that
going on. That's exactly what's going on at the end, but it's just a dude watching it. So
Yeah.
okay, all right. So I'm gonna explain what's happening, I guess, in this fucking movie.
No, let's just explain
Do you want to
please,
just?
what we had to suffer through for the first 15 minutes.
It wasn't 15. It was 20.
20 minutes.
And
What did we suffer through?
it's literally just a dude watching a bunch of stock footage on a screen.
Yes.
That is. I am not shitting you. That is the first 20 minutes.
Here-
It is a guy. He's on an island.
We have no idea who he is.
And I know this is like a kind of like an unorthodox review, but I don't care. I want to get this out of the way. He's on an island, and he fucking goes into like a psychobabble fucking like sci-fi room. But he's explaining like he's the only one left, and like he's like searched the other caves, and then he goes into the sci-fi room,
And he
it's
has
like,
he says it's a time capsule.
it's like all of human history on like a bunch. Well, not even a bunch. It's like a little bit of these film reels that he puts into this like weird turntable with a light on it.
It's like they put all of humanity has been put onto these fucking
Like
vinyl
he
crystals.
said like vinyl crystals, and each crystal is like the size of like a head on a match or something. It's so stupid. So what he does is he puts this thing in and then watches World War One. Then he watches World War Two. Then he watches Vietnam War.
No, he watches.
Oh no, sorry, Woodstock.
Which, by the way,
Quote unquote Woodstock.
by the way, in the opening credits, there's this song performed by these idiots,
There's an original song performed by someone.
and then we're meant to believe that this original song is the Woodstock footage. And of course, in what should be shocking to no one, the song sucks. And then he watches
it.
Vietnam.
And this is the first 20 minutes of the film. It's just him. It's shots of him watching nothing, and then we get shots of a monitor that they've superimposed
Stock footage.
of World War One, World War Two, and the Vietnam War.
And it's him narrating over all of it. Like, he doesn't actually talk on screen. He just narrates it like it's a boring history lesson.
Spoiler alert: he never actually talks on screen.
Never. And he has
Never.
nothing to do with the whole fucking movie. But he just narrates over this shit, and like look how the technology advances from World War One to World War Two, and like
When he's talking about well, and like I don't know why they laid down their lives for that when they like too bad the world was gonna end anyway. Blah blah blah, and like then so then he explains that he's going to watch a a diamond from 1986.
which is when the Great War happens, as he calls it.
Yes.
The Great War, and then it becomes the actual movie. So
After like 25 minutes of just sitting there and like listening to him just drone on about fucking like faults in humanity because we've never seen that before.
well,
And
we get I'm so glad that whoever built this time capsule was able to get perfectly edited and filmed footage of the Great War.
because there is no Great War in this footage.
Dude, well, first of all, it's the film. Like, he's watching the movie. So we're really watching a guy watch the movie.
Here's my thing too. Before we get too into it, because like,
Also, I just want to say this, like I mentioned this after the movie ended. This has nothing to do with the plot, right? This takes up about 40 minutes because they keep cutting to this guy
watching this,
and then changing like the position of the fucking reel. So, cut out all that. There's like 50 minutes.
well, and here's the thing also, like if it's supposed to be him watching this Great War, right?
Yeah.
Why is it just focused on one dude? And like, how was it filming that one dude? Like, how is it recorded history?
I have no idea.
Like, how is it filmed history? They didn't ever explain any of that. It's a
No,
huge plot hole because he's watching this dude do stuff, and this is how the Great War started or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Because he's like,
this one like unit.
he's like,
fucking,
little did he know that he would be like,
he's seeing how the Great War started, right? This
Yeah.
is how the dude did it. How on earth did anything film him doing it?
it's like you said, Will, all of us have a little invisible camera floating around us at all times.
Yet recording our history.
And not only recording it, but also editing it like a movie.
Now also keep in mind, why weren't there more tapes and crystals and stuff? What if like you wanted to watch a clip from like a different person's perspective? Are there different
This is it. The Great War started and ended with one agent. That's it.
because he's really dumb?
It's just-
The agent is like the dumbest fucking person on the planet.
I still don't understand
He is
this.
so fucking dumb in the entire movie.
I still don't understand this whole plot, because like this is not going to be a traditional review because I don't fucking care. Because basically, he just kind of stumbles into this
So there's this government thing, and this guy is saying how they have to go to an island because there's like a testing facility.
Well, no, the first thing that fucking happens is there's like these idiots driving in the desert, and then the bus stops.
Oh, and then a bunch of people die, and it's a bunch of delegates and like important people.
And then the guy investigates it, and the bus is completely empty, and then he gets smacked on the head, and then he goes to like talk to his bosses, and they're all just like, "You're fucking crazy." They're fine.
All right, and they're like, well, like we have to like the only name drop is like we have to like identify the Lucifer complex or whatever.
The Lucifer problem.
Yeah, which is pilots are like getting like crashed over.
They're
like,
going missing
an island.
over an island.
So he's like, oh well, I'm gonna go, and the guy's like, no, and then like he just does it,
Literally the next thing.
and it's just stock footage of a jet, and then he explodes.
We don't know. We don't even see a jet explosion. We see stock footage of like a fucking explosion on the
Like,
ground.
them testing bombs.
And somehow that's supposed to correlate in my brain that the plane crashed.
Yep, and then it's just him floating down.
And then we see a bad like parachute floating,
and then he's like falling down a hill, and he wakes up,
and it's him.
and then he like gets out of his suit, and he's all cash.
And immediately sees like a Nazi fucking get together.
It's like basically like almost like an internment camp, but like they're doing some shady shit there.
We know because he watches
Even though
it.
the conditions aren't that bad, which is weird. Like,
Dude,
like, the conditions of the people there are like nothing. They overtake that shit like so fast.
dude, this is the worst thing. Like, at least in other movies, there's some cleverness or some brutality. This is just nothing. Because he just sees this, and then he gets caught in the most boring foot chase I've ever seen.
Well, because he's just casually walking. He's like,
Yeah.
he's not like running or anything. And there's like a stock footage of an alligator, and then it
That they show over and over.
whips its tail, and they get spooked. And then I don't know. It's just so fucking dumb. And then he gets captured.
And he's in a hospital, and he's like, "Where am I?" They're like, "You're at the naval facility." They're like, they're trying to convince him that he hallucinated the whole thing.
Like he's not in a Nazi camp.
That he hallucinated the Nazis, the airplane, everything.
And he's like, okay.
That's fine.
He's totally fine with that explanation.
Totally fine. And then a fucking woman like escapes and like barricades herself in his room.
And she says he's not.
And she's
actually
like, "Surprise, you're at a Nazi camp."
He's like, oh no. And so they try and escape. They find a bunch of fucking. I don't.
No,
Okay,
so
no.
they take her away,
And
and then he escapes.
He escapes, and he tries to get taken over by some clones. Steals a badge easily from a doctor.
Gets into like the big part of the lab, and then he sees like a room of just like 20 clones. And he sees a woman giving birth to a clone fetus, I guess.
Well, and also he sees like one of the names is like one of the UN.
Guys that he talked to.
Yeah.
They keep doing this fucking thing where like something happens, like there's a big revelation, right? And then it just fucking cuts to like a flashback,
Yeah.
and it's just like
It's like
movie.
we knew who they were.
But Will, there's been so little happening.
Well, okay.
Like,
so
how would I forget?
here's
This
the,
isn't, bro. It's not Goodfellas.
Well, here's the thing. Also, why does this movie feel like it has to hold our hands when it's not explaining jack shit?
Here's the funny thing. Like, this is not well thought out.
This is
At
not
all.
like Inception over here. You know, like this is like just fucking brain dead bullshit.
So not only the movie does a magical thing though, where it over explains and holds your hand, but at the same time it doesn't tell you shit.
It doesn't tell you anything. It over explains what you already know.
Yeah, like my favorite is when during a big exposition dump, he's like talking to a doctor, and he looks at a poster of Hitler above his fucking room, and we get like a snippet of a Hitler speech. It's like
It's like, dude,
I know.
we know who Hitler is.
Like, you don't need that.
Who watching this in the 70s was like, I don't know who that is on the wall.
Who's that? Like, and that's like, what's that speech gonna do for them? Nothing.
So then,
Basically, and
he
because
finds the clones. It's one of the fucking UN people.
and then
that is already infiltrated.
He frees the woman.
They're gonna go escape. I want to also like mention, every once in a while you'll get just a scene of the dude watching this, because you can't forget that this is just a dude watching a
dude watching a
history,
dude,
like a history documentary, basically.
And every time they cut to him, he looks as interested as I am. Like, he looks. I swear, there's one shot where he's like falling asleep.
Well, because he's like on his like fucking elbows, and he's just like he's almost falling asleep.
Like his eyes are dozing off. But we get this. Eventually, we find out that they're just cloning people, and then question mark profit. Voila! I don't know.
I guess they're gonna sell them or something. Or
they're gonna take over the world through clones.
Well, they're trying to clone an Aryan race so they can like take over the world.
They say that, but they're just cloning like everybody.
I know.
None of this
not
matters.
Aryans or whatever. So they go in. They finally find this room, and the guy's like, "Okay, well, like here's the mastermind behind it all." And you see a guy flip a switch, and then a fucking projection of Hitler appears.
I will mention before we get to that drop that there is a very exciting tank battle, sir.
God. Yes.
Where
there's a takeover.
Where
the women. It's all women for some reason.
Well, because they're using the women to give birth to clones, and whatever.
I don't understand
know.
That.
I don't know.
Understand it.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
But they take a tank, and the women start shooting at people, and it is the most boring fucking shootout I've ever seen.
It kind of reminded me of, like, you remember in Alone in the Dark, when they were like firing at everything and
there's
it was
nothing
like
there.
all cool and stuff, but they're just firing at nothing.
But here's the thing: at least that scene had like a camera moving around.
Yeah.
And there was music. It was bad, but there was something.
Yeah, this is just them shooting at nothing, and then a tank slowly rolling by and barely like doing the muzzle flare, so you don't know when it's shooting.
This whole scene is just people like shot from far away with like a static shot, and then they get hit, and there's a stock scream, and then they fall over. Repeat that for like 20 minutes. How exciting does that sound?
And a slow tank just like kind of blowing things up.
Dude, it barely blows things up. Like,
then the explosions are just like limp.
Dude, here's the explosions. They put a bunch of like gas barrels around, and then someone like fucking blows it up, and there you go.
But it's not even blowing it up. It's not like a huge explosion. No. It's like this little flare.
And then when the tank shoots like at like objects,
yeah,
it's just like a firework explosion.
Well, and I love it because you can barely tell the tank is firing. Like they only use the muzzle flare like 3 times. And the rest of it is just like they show the barrel and then they show something exploding.
My favorite though is every time the tank has to turn its like turret, they do like this super close up to where you can't even tell what's happening.
The ugliest shot on the planet.
I mean, I'm not joking. It is the worst shootout I've ever seen. It reminds me of like
I don't even want to bother explaining like what happens in the scene.
No, because
it's so boring.
They shoot everyone and that's it.
The women stage a revolt. They shoot everyone. All the Nazis are dead except for the general and like the one other dude.
Yeah.
And so they find the dude and they
take him to the mastermind.
They force him to take him to the mastermind, and so he the dude flips the switch and then a hologram of fucking Hitler appears
with a guy who is trying and failing to do a fucking German accent.
That's the best they got for the old Hitler Rooney.
And then he's angry at the like Nazi guard or whatever that they brought with them, and he's like, "You failed." And then his fucking like
there's like
bird,
an iron eagle.
His eagle has like a laser that like I guess cooks his insides.
But it's so lame because the guy just he spits up a bunch of smoke and then just falls in the ground.
That's it.
They couldn't even do that right.
And then they shoot at Hollow Hitler, and then he just disappears.
He's like, He's like, seems like you might have to take on someone more like you.
And then from behind the Iron Eagle walks a perfect clone of our
him,
guy.
Of him.
And they fight. The clone gets shot. They go into the next room and they just shoot actual.
I love how they just casually shoot actual Hitler,
who's apparently been alive this whole time. They shoot him, and I swear to God, he drops dead, and it's just like nothing. There's no mention of the fact that just happened.
They don't care.
It's fine.
They don't care.
It's like they just killed a stormtrooper. It's fine.
They fucking kill Hitler. Do you remember in Inglourious Bastards when they killed Hitler and they showed him like
getting his face riddled?
His face like fucking pulverized.
Do you remember, dude, mentioning that in the same fucking vein as this? As this bullshit?
I know.
As this horseshit of a movie? Did we mention that this movie's supposed to be set in 1986?
Yeah, 86.
Dude, it's 78, right? It barely looks like 78.
Well, and then they finally do some like sci-fi shit at the end.
It's like a fucking it's like a clean room. So they have to get disinfected, and the way they get disinfected
like purple
is
lights.
They put a fucking like binocular to their face, and a purple light just scans them, and that's it.
Yeah, but
future.
It still looks like the 70s. Like
yeah, dude, no, this barely looks like the 70s.
So
remember Teen Alien?
Yes.
Teen Alien looked more futuristic.
Yes.
Than this movie.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
So they just casually kill Hitler, and then they figure out that the dude behind it all
is oh, it's you.
Is the UN one of the UN guys?
It's either a UN guy or they don't explain who any of these people are.
No.
But he's like some government higher up.
So,
and he's like, yes, it was me all along, and we will clone everybody.
So he blinds them with a flashy light, and then tries to escape slowly.
Oh, then he's also like, you can't stop me. I've turned on the Seagate. And then
now, you might be asking yourself, what is the Seagate?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But all I know is that apparently if you turn on the Seagate, it floods the island.
So he tries to escape. They kick a door and kill him for some reason.
And then our guy tells the woman, we have to get off this island. Cut to a computer man watching footage of, like, stock footage of a flood, and then saying that, like, the whole island was flooded. And then cut to footage of that fucking UN dude or whatever being like, the whole island is destroyed, but we will start over.
And they're all clones.
And he's like, they're all clones. And that's how humanity, like, lost. Oh, well. I gotta keep exploring this island. And movie!
I'm not joking. He literally says, oh, well. Essentially, he doesn't say it, but essentially he's like, well, okay, that's what happened. I gotta keep exploring my island.
Dude, I can't...
We don't know who this dude is. We don't know what happened to our so-called hero of the movie. We have no idea what happened to anyone.
They all died.
Because clones took over.
But apparently, the sheer act of flooding the clone island fucking meant that the world would get fucked.
That was his mistake, was letting the guy turn on the Seagate?
It flooded one island, but apparently that island was just
It was a chain reaction,
It was the most important island ever, Will.
It was a chain reaction.
And now the whole world is clones, except one guy hiking on an island. That's the movie.
This movie is atrocious.
The more I think about it, it's
honestly, dude,
worse than Chris the Headless Horseman.
Dude, honestly, it just wastes all of your fucking time. Like, not some of it, all of it.
All of it? Honestly?
Like, all of it.
It's worse. I didn't think it'd be possible, but they fucking did it.
They made a movie worse than Curse of the Headless
Because nothing. Like, again, 40 minutes of this movie is a guy watching a computer.
Yeah, yes.
40 minutes of this movie is a guy watching a computer.
And then the other half of the movie is literally just non-important because everyone dies.
Everyone dies. There's no payoff. What does happen is just the most boring shit ever. none of the questions you'll have are ever going to be explained.
There's giant fucking plot holes everywhere.
Like, why are all the fucking workers at the camp or whatever, why do they all look the same? Why do they all have mustaches and wear fucking casts on their necks? Why? What is the Seagate?
What happened to the people? What happened to the women that escaped this internment camp after being forced to have babies all the time?
Like, what is the fucking eagle laser shooter thing?
Why was
Why was Hitler still alive?
Why was Hitler just a side note in a movie where they're trying to resurrect get the Third Reich going?
Why is there a tank in the movie and the movie's boring?
I was almost falling asleep at that scene.
It is so slow.
I struggled to stay awake.
It is so boring.
Most intense, quote unquote, intense scene in the entire movie.
Dude, you think of any other movie, anytime a tank shows up, like, something's going down, right? You're excited.
You think?
Things are happening. In this, the tank shows up, it drives like a mile an hour, and you barely see it do anything. Like, this is the best they could do.
This movie, yeah, it's the worst movie I've ever seen.
I'm
not even joking. It is the worst movie I have ever seen.
Yeah. We're well over. I'm not counting Uwe Boll, but other than him, we are well over 100 episodes into the podcast. And this thing is fucking killer.
Like, it is such a waste of time. That's my biggest point here. It's like nothing matters in this movie. It's a movie where like stuff happens, but it's all fucking for naught because something happens and we don't get to see what happens, but somehow clones take over the world. But it's just a dude on a fucking island and we're supposed to care about him even though we know nothing about him. And he's just watching human history and then is like, nah, I gotta explore this island. It's the most unimportant, like, bland movie I've ever seen.
I just want to know the thought process behind coming up with this.
Maybe that's why there's two directors. One director was filming the guy fucking
sitting at a computer,
and then the other guy was filming the other plot. Which actually, if you maybe flesh that out, it wouldn't be good, but at least it'd be a better movie than what we got.
It'd still be a ripoff of two better movies, but at least
okay. It's just fucking lazy because you didn't have any like ending, right? Like you just how convenient that you had all this footage of this fucking other director or whatever filming all this stuff for like a plot where a agent discovers a Nazi plot, but they never finished it. So you take that property and you're just like, I can finish this. I can do stuff. You got like 40 minutes of film left to do, right? So you're just like, you know what? We're gonna have voiceover and a guy sitting at a computer.
Dude,
you got the stock footage ready? We don't have to pay for it? Great.
But is that the best they could do?
That is the best they can do.
Like that's what you come up with?
It's just a dude that doesn't care about jack shit watching this, and we're supposed to care about it for some reason.
Yeah.
Like why? Okay, so as the audience, why are we supposed to care? In movies, you know, you make the audience care about things that are happening in your movie.
Absolutely not.
But I ask you this, directors, both of you.
There's two credited directors on this.
Why should we care about anything that happens in this movie? And you know what? I don't.
Did anybody care?
No. They obviously didn't care. They shot Hitler and it just fucking, and they ignored the whole thing.
Yeah, like, you have Hitler in a movie.
It's about bringing back the Third Reich, and they kill Hitler, and it's just whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then clothes take over the world. Who cares?
Literally, who cares?
That's the whole movie. Who cares?
The guy watching it doesn't care. Why should we?
Who cares? So why should we care? And I don't care. Lucifer Complex is the worst movie I've ever seen. Maybe it'll be beaten. I'm not sure, but fuck this movie.
Yeah.
It is just so forgettable, so stupid, just so poorly executed in every single sense of the word, and just fucking just it's like a torture device. If you want to torture someone, just show them this fucking movie.
Yeah, have them sit through the first 20 minutes of this. See how they like it.
I dare you to watch the first 20 minutes of this and not want to turn it off.
And not just be like, why am I watching
I don't know how
this?
we did it. I checked the time like multiple times because I was so bored.
Well, I was just baffled. I was just like, I can't believe this is the movie. I literally can't believe this is the movie.
And at the end of the day, literally the entire overarching message is, who cares? I have to explore an island.
Yes.
That is where all of it leads to.
That is how the movie
Who fucking cares?
chooses to end.
They chose it. They chose to end the movie like that. So why should I give a fuck about anything that happens in this movie?
Dude, you can't.
If you want to watch it for yourself, it's on Amazon Prime. I know this is a short review, but fuck this movie. I cannot stand this movie. It's a waste of fucking an hour and 30 minutes. It just like, and I don't like, I usually say that jokingly, right? Like you're just like, oh, it's a waste, but it's like, some entertainment value here. No, it's not even like laughably bad. It's just bad.
I mean, there are parts that are laughable, but by the time it ends, you're just like so empty and drained.
Like that whole like shootout scene, I wanted to laugh at how stupid it was, but I was just like,
This is boring.
I'm just so bored. It's
Yeah.
not even like laughably bad like action scene. It's just boring.
Yeah, you just spend the whole scene being like this should be more exciting. But it's not. It's just fucking boring and nothing
This
happens.
whole movie's like a soggy sandwich. Like it's fucking doesn't look good. It doesn't taste good. Like you consume it and you're sad. Like
But here's the thing, Will.
it's a soggy sandwich.
Like that opening and ending is the soggy bread part, right? But it's like you think to yourself, well, maybe the meat's good, and then you bite into it, and it's like fucking rotten ham.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
It's a soggy sandwich with rotten ham.
That's yeah. Maybe throw some fucking maggots in there. I don't know.
Probably.
That's this movie. Because it's like, okay, fine. Let's just get past the intro. Let's get past the intro. Maybe something will happen. Maybe it'll be funny. No. Nothing.
Literally watch anything else, please.
Please.
like I did say before, but I do dare you to watch the first 20 minutes and not want to turn this off.
Yeah, I mean, if you can watch the first 20 minutes.
You are inhumane if you don't want to turn it off, because I wanted to.
If you can watch the first 20 minutes of this and not just lose your mind, I'm jealous of you. Because you're a stronger person than I am.
You're stronger than me.
I was watching this and I was like, I can't believe this.
So I'm not even gonna do Shitty to Pretty, because this is
It's a straight up one.
It's a straight up worst. I don't even care about saying it. Like it is the worst movie I've ever seen. I think back of all those shitty movies I've watched, and at least they had something, and they had a beginning, a middle, an end. There was something there. There was something happening, and there was like good, like, well, not good, but like there was at least plot developments, and sure there was fucking like plot holes all over the place, but at least at the end of the day they didn't end it with like, oh, I don't give a shit, I have an island to explore.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just, there's no value.
Yeah, so that's the review. Sorry if it was nonsensical, but this movie is nonsensical.
This
so.
doesn't even deserve a normal review.
No, because fuck this movie. I don't even know how they got, who was the actor that...
Robert Vaughn.
Yeah, Robert Vaughn. Robert fucking Vaughn.
He was in Magnificent Seven.
And Bullet.
And he's in this. And I know there's someone else in this. But it doesn't matter, because, I mean, most of the fucking people in this are only in it for, like, on screen? What, 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
The real fucking star of the movie is our guy in the beginning.
The computer dude that doesn't give a fuck because he's just watching human history.
Like, he doesn't actually talk on screen. Hell, the narration, it could be like the fucking director or something.
And it sounds like The narration sounds like they're more bored than we were.
Yeah, like the
And I
narration
was insanely bored.
is there to. It's like it's putting you to sleep.
This is. I've said what I needed to say.
It's inhumane.
This movie belongs in the deepest, darkest fucking depths of a giant, like, garbage pit. It is the fucking most atrocious, one of the most, well, no, the most atrocious movie I think I've ever seen, just because it doesn't fucking care about anything.
And I think the one thing that makes me say it's worse than Curse of the Headless Horseman is that this clearly has more money behind it.
Yes.
Because obviously they have a fucking tank and they could pay for shitty explosions.
Yeah.
Whereas Curse of the Headless Horseman had literally nothing. So the fact that this clearly had some, like, $5 behind it, and this is what you get, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's fucking unacceptable.
This movie, I do not accept this as a movie.
No.
It is a torture device. It is just trash. So, yeah, go watch the first 20 minutes and you'll see what we're talking about, because you don't need to watch the rest of the movie.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking enjoy
Please do.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm done. Sorry. I can't. I'm angry. I am angry at this film.
This movie.
It got me. It got me real upset.
This bitch fucking boomed me.
Ooh, it did. Because
It broke my heart.
I love fucking movies and film, and I fucking hate this. This is fucking, it makes me so mad.
This is pathetic.
So yeah, that's our review. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now go enjoy something.
Enjoy something else. Please.
Something that will bring you joy, because
Please.
I have no joy in my life right now.
Lord, do something good for yourself.
Go out and tell someone you love them. Please. Hold them tight and just say, you know what?
Yeah.
At least we're not watching the Lucifer complex.
Go pet your fucking pet. Do anything. Don't do what we did.
Don't do it. You have your whole life ahead of you.
A part of my soul I cannot recover from this fucking movie.
An hour and 30 minutes of my life has been wasted.
It's gone.
Just completely boomed.
It's gone forever, Will.
There's no value here.
Oh, I just threw it away. Will, we could have sat here in total silence for an hour and a half.
That would have been better.
Just staring at the wall.
That would have been better.
And it would have hurt less than watching this piece of shit. I'm saying that even though our next movie is fucking Uwe Boll, but please do something better for yourself. Because we're not.
No.
We're doing a fucking 1-2 punch of this piece of shit, and then next time we're watching fucking In the Name of the King 3, which, if the second one's anything to go by, is gonna be the worst.
And guess what? The third one, he had even less money, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's gonna be bullshit. There's not even gonna be a dragon that puts you to sleep.
This could be great. The Z-Quill dragon.
Jesus.
Alright.
Fuck everything. Good night, guys.
Fuck it. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
We'll fucking talk to y'all later.
Bye. Please love yourselves.
Bye. Yeah, please spread joy. Don't watch the Lucifer complex. It'll only cause misery and pain
Please.
and suffering.